May profits be upon you. I'm going to take a quick look at U.S. oil, WTI crude. Okay. This is one of those markets like gold that is driven by sentiment. Okay. And we have a situation, a war, a doggone war going on in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia. And that is affecting the markets in a big way, particularly oil. You see how oil has shot up. This is how the week closed. This is a weekly close. This is a weekly time frame. All right. And this is how the week closed, very aggressively bullish. And there it could go higher, especially looking like the way events are going. Russia is increasing the onslaught on the smaller nation, and it looks like it's going to get worse before it gets better. So even with in the face of sanctions and the disruption to the energy sector over there, people are going to be putting their money in safe havens like gold, and they're going to push oil prices a lot higher. OPEC's not agreeing with any increase in production, so likely the price is going to go up. But what I look for is opportunities, right? And I'm looking at where price is right now. It just took out the high from May, the early May of 2011, all right? We haven't seen the prices that high since that date. So there may be a chance that we might see a pullback. If we see a pullback, that'll give opportunity for people that are not in the trade in longs to maybe get in and then ride it higher. All right. At this point, I wouldn't be entering in any longs. All right. Because prices is just the market is extended and it could turn around at any point, depending on how geopolitical conditions change. Right. What I want to note here is, as a technical analyst, excuse me, according to my TA, all right, as a technical analyst, I'm looking at the technicals, right? And I'm seeing that price has reached a point where it could turn around in here. And depending on if it does confirm a shift in the market, the shifting of momentum from bullish to bearish momentum, might be able to take advantage of that. Okay. This is in an area where it could drop significantly if, again, the conditions over there change. This is a supply. We're in supply. Let's go to the daily. Take a closer look at this price action. What we see is that price did come up here, take out this high. That's why that X is here. Took out the stop losses for people that were in, that were in shorts, that took shorts here, took shorts here, took shorts here, took shorts here. Price came up and took, where would their stop losses be? Right above those areas, right? Including this one. Took them all out, swept the highs, and we could see a drop off from here. We could see its potential. All right, let's go down to the 4 hour. We'll take a closer look. And we can see if there are early signs that price might want to turn around here. All right. We see the bullish entry into the POI, this supply zone, make that high, and then price drop down. We need to see what happened here. All right, why price dropped down and how significant is that drop to us? Okay, let's take a look at it on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we can see kind of like head and shoulders that has formed here, right? Boom, 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 right? And we see the follow through with that. Boom, nice drop off there, right? The thing about with head and shoulders is that what we're seeing is a break in market structure. All right, what would be a break in structure for you? All right, maybe a break of this high, because what you want to find is what is in the structure that is responsible for the next structure. What I mean is what is responsible for this high? All right, would it be this high or low as price came up here made this high here and then pulled back to make the higher low, then to make the higher high. On the 1 hour, yeah, you can say this is the higher low, the structural point, that if price breaks this with a close below this low, a break and a close below this low, then it indicates that price may want to go lower. All right. And we would look for a return to impulse, quite possibly around this area. And this is the origin, where the origin of the original, the origin of the impulse that breaks those structures. All right. And we see that, and then you can see some downside action from that. All right. What I want you to what I want you to notice is it doesn't have to be a break of the major structure. It could be a break of short-term lows. When you get two of them, it's an indication that price intends to go lower, like in this instance. And we expect, again, a return to impulse, either here or here. All right. Price did return here, had a reaction, then came back to the origin. And we could see a drop off from here, sweeping the liquidity of these lows. See this scenario play out all the time. It very well could happen. What is going on? Is my button stuck? What is going on here? There it goes. I don't know what just happened there. Okay, so what I want to do is go to my entry area. I usually enter on the 1 hour or the 1 minute, but I'm not going into that here. You can enter in safely on the 15, right? What do we see here? Again, we see that head and shoulder action. All right. This here I would consider the higher low that made this higher high. And a break of it would be a break of market structure. We even have a confirmation that price wants to go lower here, right? We didn't get down to here yet, but we did get a reaction off of this order block, didn't we? All right. We see that price return to origin up here. So we're going to mark it on the 15. We're going to mark that, and we're going to mark the liquidity that was taken. Now I can take, I'll take all of this actually. All right, this is where we are. Now, this is actually where I would refine it to. I would refine this bearish order block, this supply. Let me see. I don't need it that dark. All right, because you see how price came back into it and then dropped from there, then dropped from there. Right? We come back up to it here. Now, what am I looking at? What am I looking for over here? I'm looking for the same kind of action. I want to see something like this. A high, a pullback, a higher high, a drop that takes out the low of that pullback. And then we'll look for something in this leg of structure here that'll turn price back around. This is the return to impulse or the return to origin. And this is what I want to see. Okay. I want to see that on a smaller scale. Now, it could happen here. It could happen here. If I can get something the right way. All right. You see that the liquidity was swept here. And then the drop from there. All right. So that's an interesting sign. But I also want to acknowledge we have a what do you call it? An imbalance move here. So that's interesting to me. And we also have a bullish order block here. I'm going to acknowledge all of that. That's an order block, a bullish order block, or demand. All right. So we have that. We can take this whole thing. All right. And we have what do you call an imbalance going into a POI, going into a zone of demand in this case, right? So that gives good reason for price to want to come down here. Okay, so what I could see, I'm having trouble with my words now because I'm getting a little tired. All right, what I can see is I'm looking for price to come down in here, but to give us an inducement to get people to take longs early, right? This would be the inducement, right? Price may come back up here to this order block here, and then come down, taking out the stop losses for those that got in early, and then bounce off of this this order block here, and then either go up or continue down, one or the other. But I'm looking for a confirmation entry. I'm not just going to jump in long because of fear of missing out, and I'm not just going to jump in short before I get confirmations. You need those confirmations, folks. All right. So you see price took out this high here. You see price taking out this high. You see price taking out this high. All right. I need to see some lows taken out at this point. All right. We've returned to impulse. I need to see something taken out here, a return, and then I would take a short from here. If it doesn't go that way, maybe we just get a pullback here, taking out the fair value gap, and we can look for a confirmation entry here to take long, because we do have some buy side liquidity that we could take out. All right, I'm already suspect of this high here because it didn't break new lows. You know, it didn't make a big it didn't make a big pullback here. All right, so that would mean that it may be a target for liquidity. All right, so I'm ready both ways for whichever way this one wants to go. Okay, and I want you to be ready for both ways. If there's an opportunity to get in on this long, it's probably going to come around here with a pullback. All right, I'm not just going to jump in. All right, it could go long from here, and you know that no problem. I didn't get a confirmation for an entry, but I believe that it should pull back first before it continues higher. Just a little bit of a pullback, and that would be down here. All right. If it breaks this low, I'll be waiting for a pullback. It doesn't have to go down that far. It can break this low here, or it can break this low here. But I'm looking for that pullback, and then I would jump in, like I had mentioned earlier. Okay, I hope that helps. Hope that gives you something to look for. And just look out for the updates that I'll leave for it. Check the community tab, because that's where I'll leave those updates. All right, and hey, do not forget to smash that like button if you like the analysis I just gave. All right, and subscribe if you want the updates, and catch everything on time. I will see you in the next video, and thank you for sharing a couple of minutes of your Saturday with me.